The Littlest Witch's Story, written by Rusty Fischer, illustrated by Joel Cook. Winnie the Witch would not go to sleep. She would not even try. She stared at her broom in the corner and couldn't wait until she could fly. She'd zoom overhead and fly through the night as the town grew tiny below. But she'd have to sneak out, for if she were to ask, her mother was sure to say no. So Winnie the Witch had cast a spell upon her witchy mother, whose only goal in life, it seemed, was to gloat and haunt and smother. She never let her fly for fun or cast cool witchy spells. She couldn't snoop around in jars and vials with awful witchy smells. As darkness fell upon the land, little Winnie smiled and waited. Her mother paced and walked the floor, growing weary and frustrated. "I wish you'd come and settle down," Winnie's mother did say, "for sleep is what awaits us, dear, at the end of a busy day." "But I'm not tired," our Winnie whined, as her mother paced the floor. Winnie smirked and waited for her mother's first loud snore. You see, our little Winnie poured a spell into her mother's cup. Then she smiled as Mommy dear took her glass and drank it up. The sleeping potion took a while, of that Winnie was sure, but not this long, our Winnie thought. It was 99% pure. Her mother should be asleep by now, her chin double covered in drool, and yet here she was, prancing around, making Winnie look like a fool. "Let's both lie down," our Winnie said, as she hung her witch hat up, but Mother just stood right there and studied her empty cup. "My tea tasted funny," Mother frowned as she stirred the bubbling cauldron. "Are you sure you used the tea bags from the tin above the oven?" "Of course I did." Winnie did yawn as she climbed right into bed. She wasn't tired, but it wouldn't hurt to rest her head. Soon Winnie could not keep her eyes open as the room did swirl, and Mother dear, she danced and smiled and gave a little twirl. "What's wrong, my dear young Winnie?" her mother asked of her. "I thought you said the night was young, even though we just had dinner." "I'm sleepy, Mother," Winnie yawned, "and I don't see quite why. You should be yawning, Mother dear, as the moonlight fills the sky." Her mother winked and stirred her pot, then she tasted her bubbling brew. "Be careful when you cast a spell that one isn't casting spells on you." Winnie frowned at her mother's words. "You knew?" she asked out loud. "I thought I'd tricked you, Mom. At last. Of myself I was quite proud." "As you should be," her mom did say as she tucked her daughter in. "If I hadn't tasted eye of newt, I'd be sure to pack it in." "I drank your potion, little one," Winnie said with a smile. "But then I cast a reversal spell from mother to her child." "You mean," our Winnie moaned and gasped as she struggled to stay up, "you drank the spell I made you, then put a reverse spell on the cup?" Her mother nodded and sat down in a rocker made of wood. Winnie smiled and thought to herself, "Man, that witch is good."